The air is certainly rare as Outcast Wrestling Revolution presents Flowers Given. I am your host, the Zoe, Zachary Levaye, here to give you the who's who and the what's what on this great night of professional wrestling. Tag team action on deck, and we were supposed to see Genises get the shot that they felt they were owed ever since the inception of tag team titles here in OWR. However, as we say in wrestling, card always subject to change. And tonight, they're going to send a message straight to the champions Buff Inc. when they take on the debuting Black Label Society.
All right, everybody, make some noise if you want to still with me here. All right, that is good to hear. So what do you say, everybody? Want to see some more wrestling? Our next contest is a tag team match, scheduled for one fall. Genises
here always, okay? It's clearly bunch of NPCs in the ring, bunch of NPCs out here. They don't know about Big Game. They don't know about TKO. They don't know about Genises. But it's okay. We'll show you. Tutorial playthrough. Woo! Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. Stop. Stop it. All right, Tyler. Sick of it. Come on. I don't want to hear noise. I don't want to hear cheering. Nothing. Just shut up. Just shut up. I'm sick of it. All right. Tyler, you got this? I got this. You got this, Tyler? I got this. You got this? We'll be flying and playing games in 5 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from intermission here at Flowers Given. And Zach, I have to tell you, even though I'm supposed to be impartial as a commentator, I have a sizable bone to pick with these two gentlemen, Genises, TKO Kasenko, and Big Game Leroy.
I gotta ask, how many members are there of Genises, Social Influence, whatever they want to call themselves? Because I mean, there are so many combinations, and clearly they've got an issue with you.
So I can give you a little bit of a lore dump here, as the kids would say. So Genises is a faction consisting of the two gentlemen in the ring. They're far from gentlemen, let me correct myself. Big Game Leroy and TKO Kasenko, as well as the powerful one, Ken Powers, Clipper Jones, Abs, and their personal ring announcer / valet, Samira. Now, Social Influence is a subunit, the tag team representatives of the group, TKO Kasenko and Ken Powers. Ken Powers, however, not able to be here tonight, so the game breaker, Big Game Leroy, taking his place.
And you know what else is interesting about a lot of the champions of OWR are not here tonight, but they're always such fighting champions. But a night like tonight here at Flowers Given allows us to give the flowers to members of the respective divisions and allow those people of the divisions to stand out and really make an impact on if they deserve those championship opportunities. And that's what the Black Rebel Society is looking to do right now. Robbie Rebel has complete control over Big Game Leroy.
Robbie Rebel working that wrist. I personally hope he breaks that wrist, because that is the same hand that Big Game Leroy drove where the sun don't shine on yours truly in the middle of a ring in the Bronx, New York last summer.
The sun certainly shines on the head of Robbie Rebel's tag team partner on the apron, the Black Sheep. Now, once again, keeping Leroy grounded. Broke too soon, though, with the head scissors now. Grapsel plenty here.
And Big Game Leroy, I'll have to give it to him. He is a veteran of this business, trained at House of Glory by the legendary Amazing Red. So you can expect to see that high-flying X-Division style, if you will, on display in this matchup. Although it looks like he might be feeling like taking a light night here tonight. Jaw-jacking with the crowd.
Well, I mean, jaw-jacking equals views, controversy equals cash, and Genises is looking to get all the cash they can get. And see, look, I'm getting the nod of approval from Mr. TKO.
You don't want that man's nod of approval, let me tell you. Because he thinks he can commentate better than I can.
I'd like to think that I can do it better than him, and I think we do a great job.
I do this for a living. He isn't even monetized.
The Black Sheep is monetized, but he's certainly quite the brawler, and he's ready to take it to Genises, as he's now legally in this matchup.
And you see the Black Sheep picking up where Robbie Rebel left off, continuing to work on that wrist.
And you mentioned it, a little bit of that lucha-ness coming off the middle with a little simple but effective axe handle, but it's got Leroy exactly where the Black Rebel Society wants him.
And they're continuing to work that arm. And if they neutralize that arm and hand, that is going to neutralize Big Game Leroy's two most effective offenses, the Kamehameha, as well as the game breaker. Here's the cover. Kick out at one.
Well, I hope that Genises doesn't neutralize you if you say something out of pocket. You know, obviously we're pretty close to the ring. TKO keeps looking back here. I am worried for your safety. I mean, a lot of people's safeties are in question. We saw what happened with Cindy Hart earlier with 5150. Hopefully we'll get an update on that, and hopefully we'll get an update on the tag team champions, especially after one of these teams makes a strong claim with a victory here tonight at Flowers Given.
It's a Black Sheep, the big elbow into the shoulder blade, shades of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and follows it up with a big leg drop. That might have dislocated Leroy's elbow.
He came crashing down, and it is certainly hurting the insides of Big Game Leroy. The Black Rebel Society have this ring completely cut off right now. This is great tag team fluidity.
Cutting the ring in half, those frequent tags to keep each other fresh. There's no doubt about it. Black Rebel Society is a well-oiled machine. But Big Game Leroy reasserting dominance with that side headlock. Now with a little wrist control of his own.
And you know that a lot of that brutalness that Black Rebel Society brings to the table comes from learning under the tutelage of Kane Lothbrok, who we saw earlier tonight pick up a dominant, impactful victory. So they're looking to do the exact same thing here tonight in the tag team division.
Well, Big Game Leroy's asking for a timeout, but there's no pausing this playthrough.
There's no crying in baseball. There's no timeouts in wrestling. But Big Game Leroy making the most of an opening here, using the ropes to his advantage, and TKO gonna follow suit.
TKO pulling on Robbie Rebel's hair. Oh, and Big Game Leroy flexing, hitting that emote, if you will.
He's just flexing on him, and you know the ratings just went through the roof according to Genises.
And Big Game Leroy begging TKO Kosenko to make the tag, and TKO does so. And this might be the thumbnail here.
Vlogging while they're wrestling. I understand the entrance thing. I understand the social media gimmick, whatever. But to do this stuff while you're actually wrestling is a little excessive.
Yes, that camera is on. Make no mistake. TKO Kosenko likes to document his opponent's suffering.
Well, they're certainly going to have to document a victory in the win column here tonight if they want any chance of getting the tag team championships that they feel they were fluked out of when Buff Inc. won them in that championship gauntlet back in November. Feels like the champions have been ducking them, and now they are just looking to put punishment on Robbie Rebel.
And how's that for a thumbnail? With the assist from TKO, Big Game Leroy dumps Robbie Rebel right on his cranium.
That's certainly going to hit the algorithm, but it's not enough to pick up the victory in. But look at the shaky, wobbly knees of TKO. He's doing the Demi Lovato dance.
And it's worth pointing out, Zach, that Genises was originally scheduled to compete for the OWR Tag Team Championships tonight. Buff Inc., of course, unable to compete, and we wish them the best. But Genises and Buff Inc. have some unfinished business. It was back in January that Genises went the distance in the gauntlet match to crown the inaugural OWR Tag Team Champions, but came up short to Buff Inc.
Now they're implementing probably what they were going to implement if they were in the ring with Buff Inc. They're just sinking to the lows, they're jacking the jaws, they're playing the mind games, and they have Robbie Rebel completely cut off right now from his tag team partner. Frequent tags, stomping mud holes. This is the way of Genises.
But again, Genises has to remind themselves not to treat the Black Rebel Society as just an appetizer while they wait for the main course.
Can't do anything like that here in OWR because the competition here is absolutely stiff. Everybody is jawing to get these opportunities to be on these shows. It's not easy to impress OWR management. You have to be at the top of your game at all times to constantly be returned here.
See TKO just grinding that knee into the windpipe of Robbie Rebel. Big snapmare takedown going right into that headlock.
And making sure that the crowd can see the face, the pain on the face of Robbie Rebel. That way it gets as many views, as many eyes on it as possible.
Because it's all about the views as far as Genises is concerned, but Rebel able to reverse it into a stunner, follows it up with a big step-up insecurity.
No way you couldn't see that from anywhere in this room, and it's going to be seen worldwide, especially if it's true if that camera is always rolling. And this may be the opening that Robbie Rebel needed to get to the black sheep.
TKO is up for the challenge. The Black Sheep coming in like a house of fire with those clotheslines. Big Game Leroy wants in on the action. Here's your hat, what's your hurry?
He wasn't in a rush to get in there, but realized his partner was in danger. And now both members of Genises in severe danger. Big body slam from the Black Sheep.
here, going on sale. You ever hear throwing one dude on another dude?
Stacking them like cordwood as the Black Sheep follows it up with a big splash.
They're going to be saying bad all the way home. And it may get bad for them if the Black Rebel Society gives TKO a little heart attack.
This could be it. Here's the cover, but Big Game Leroy is there to break it up.
Hesitation on that breakup. Leroy did not give them even the glimmer of thinking that that was going to be it for Genesis. But look at that. The Black Sheep neutralizing. Leroy pulls him out. Now we're at a one-on-one stalemate in the ring.
The Black Sheep sent face first into that steel post as TKO crying out in pain in the ring. What is going on?
It's not time for your fashion statement. Is that like a cheat code or something?
Oh, it was a distraction. Leroy just headbutted the mouthpiece right out of Robbie Rebel.
It says game over, and it's looking like it may be game over for the Black Rebel Society. TKO has him up with a fireman's carry and a TKO. Perfectly named, perfectly executed. Into the cover, shoots the half, 3.
Well, I have to say, Zach,
I told y'all.
it hurts to say, but there is no denying Genesis, as they are fond of saying, this is just the beginning of their reign of terror here in OWR.
The #1 contenders to the tag team title just got the #1 victory royale, and now they could be stepping ever closer to their own tag team championship reign on the horizon.
Where's the tag titles? Where's the tag titles? We're ready for them.
I don't know. They're not here, unfortunately. That was the whole idea.
Well, folks, will Genesis be successful in their campaign for Tag Team Gold? You'll have to like and subscribe, as TKO would say, to find out. Let's throw it back to the ring for more wrestling action.
Things here in OWR tend to get pretty wild, especially when now someone like Patient 5150 is running amok. We don't really know their full intentions to this point, but we do know that they have some hostility towards management here in OWR, even going so far as to, try to Cindy Hart. Hopefully Dante Farmito can find whatever wacky solution is necessary to bring this wacky entity down to earth a little.
And now, our next contest is a singles match scheduled for 1 fall.
Come on, get off your knees. Let's fight. Come on. Get off your knees right now. Come on.
As we continue the action, I don't know how we're going to be able to keep control. I don't know how safe this room is right now with 5150 in there against Dante Farmito. These are two absolutely polarizing, chaotic forces meeting in that ring right now.
Patient 5150 has been wreaking havoc, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake ever since he first arrived here at Outcast Wrestling Revolution. We saw earlier tonight, he dragged OWR co-owner Sydney Hart into the back, costing Lou Jacobs his victory in his return match. But that was then, this is now, and now we are seeing Dante Farmito getting his skull crushed between the sizable palms of Patient 5150.
How can a creature like this even be allowed to compete in a sanctioned wrestling ring? Who in the hell designed this? Who allows something like this? I mean, Dante Farmito is not the brightest bulb in the room, but this 5150, I don't know if there's any brains behind that headbutt.
I feel like every time Patient 5150 arrives here at OWR, we learn a little bit more about who he is and where they came from. Excuse me, they go by they, as in they are many, referring no doubt to the multiple personalities lurking inside that head.
I had to call them a creature because, you know, there's really nothing else you could call 5150, but what you can call Dante Farmito is the living embodiment of an outcast, fitting that he's here at OWR, fighting the good fight against 5150.
I was just about to say, if there's anybody on the OWR roster who could match 5150 in terms of unpredictability, it is this man, Dante Farmito. I haven't seen him in action since No Resolution back in January, where he came up short against Johan Nara.
Well, he came up short the first time on that suicide dive, hit the brick wall that was 5150, but was able to get the second one. Now has him down on the outside. The crowd behind him firmly here. And look at that, a little penguin slide!
Dante Farmito punching himself in the face to wake himself up a bit. Might have hit his head off that dive. But it's that high-risk, high-reward style that has helped Dante Farmito make a name for himself.
I mean, there's no more worse pain that you can inflict than pain you give to yourself. And he's showing 5150 that it doesn't matter how much they do to him, Dante Farmito is going to come back and keep on fighting until he can't physically anymore. And I'm sure 5150 has no problems ensuring that outcome. But Dante Farmito coming off the top with that frog splash. But 5150 may seem unfazed.
Kick out at one from Patient 5150. And like I was saying earlier, every time 5150 emerges here at OWR, we learn more about his background. We understand now that Dr. Lilly, presumably one of his former medical consultants at the Norwich Insane Asylum, now accompanying him to the ring and seems to have some sort of control over him.
Clearly she needs to run some new tests, figure out what medical prescription this thing needs, because it is not well here at OWR as long as 5150 continues to wreak the havoc that he does. But Dante Farmito slinging through the ropes, and he's just making sure everybody sees what he's doing right now. I don't know how wise it is for him to not just stay right on top of him. Just ripping at the jaw here. I don't know. Ooh.
Playing mind games with a psychopath might not be the smartest choice on Dante Farmito's part.
This is so hard to call because there's no telling what these two are going to do.
Patient 5150 took a bite out of the forehead of Dante Farmito, and I think I saw his little tongue.
I know you said that we're learning more and more about 5150, but has like any type of record been pulled on him? Like, is there any records of him being a cannibal? Because he just tried to eat Dante Farmito.
No, All the files from the Norwich Insane Asylum were lost in the Great Fire of '92.
Well, it's 2025 now. We need to figure out the solution here. Dante Farmito trying his best to be the solution to 5150. But there really is no figuring that thing out.
5150, taking Dante Farmito to the outside, and this is where a man like 5150 thrives in that brawling, hardcore, falls count anywhere environment. Referee TJ trying to get some control, and 5150 ripping up a sign of a poor young girl in the front row.
I don't understand how anybody in this room can feasibly cheer for 5150. Like, how can anybody condone the actions that this psychopath constantly does every time he shows up here?
Listen, Zach, Jeffrey Dahmer had fans in court. There's a certain intrigue when it comes to all things dark and supernatural.
Well, this match is dark and supernatural turned up to 75, and the violence is being turned up courtesy of 5150.
See those savage clubbing blows to the back of Dante Farmito, driving all the air out of the lungs.
TJ had better keep his distance from the action. Obviously, he's got to stay on top of it as much as he can, but I wouldn't want anything to happen to our senior official here.
Oh, and 5150 had Dante Farmito up. Looks like he was going for a choke bomb, but Farmito able to counter it. Appears to be applying that choke.
Trying to siphon the soul of 5150. Just 24 hours removed from Friday the 13th. You could feel the spookiness in the air. And whoa, 5150, just absolute, like I said, he's unfazed by everything that Dante Farmito is pulling, and that two-handed choke bomb executed.
Dante Farmito clutching the back. 5150 looks like he's signaling for the end. Looks like they're signaling for the end. And Dante Farmito still showing signs of life, but 5150 gonna put a stop to that.
This is so tough to keep track of. Like, you don't know who's who, what's what next sick level this is gonna get taken to. But the level's starting to pick up as Dante Farmito comes flying with the sling blade.
And that is a rare position for 5150 on their back on the mat. Both men to their knees.
Though, Alex, because look at that, already to his feet. He was dazed for a moment, but Dante Farmito realizes he's got to stay on the attack. He's got to do everything he can to keep the monster at bay. Double knees, send it into the corner. Has him crumbled.
What could Dante Farmito be looking for here? Brings 5150 back to their feet. Oh, and 5150 catches him with that big downward spiral.
Sent him straight to hell through a black hole, did 5150. But whoa! I think we just saw an exorcism. The soul siphoned right back into the body of Dante Farmito.
Dante Farmito, incapable of feeling pain or perhaps a glutton for punishment.
Building as much momentum as he can. That was such an innovative maneuver. 5150 doesn't care.
5150 stalking his prey, and for the first time in this matchup, Dante Farmito pleading for mercy. But patient 5150 knows no such concept.
Look how much Dante has thrown at 5150. He has thrown every bit of caution to the wind. He has put his body on the line, and nothing has been able to get this monster to even be rattled. But that knee sent him down. This could be exactly... Every time I try to say something, this thing just will not be stopped.
Meeting of the minds sends both men staggering.
And that's one way to use your head, but I don't know how wise that was by Dante, as 5150 once again coils back up.
Dante looked like he might have been going for a crossbody, but 5150 catches him. There's that downward spiral one more time. Here's the cover.
And that's it. The Fright Fest comes to an end.
And the trail of carnage. Wait a second.
I told him he should have stayed out of harm's way because 5150 just choke slammed him through the mat.
Deja vu all over again as ref TJ finds himself out cold in the center of the ring, courtesy of the unhinged Patient 5150. Will this trail of carnage ever end, Zach?
Alex, I don't think it's ending anytime soon, even tonight. We've already seen what 5150 did to Sydney, and now he just completely incapacitated Dante Farmito after killing the referee. What is going on?
I think Dr. Lilly might have just written Dante Farmito a prescription for chloroform, and now
He just signed a death warrant. They're putting him in a bag.
a body bag has been laid out. Dante Farmito still not stirring as Patient 5150 zips him up and seals his fate.
This is far beyond professional wrestling, Alex. What meaning is it? What need is there for this sick, twisted, disgusting behavior from somebody like this? This is completely unnecessary. Look at Dante. There's no life at all.
I cannot believe what I am witnessing. 5150 dragging Dante Farmito. Where is he taking him? Out to a shallow grave in the woods out back, no doubt.
They're gonna have to keep an eye on all social media platforms for updates on this developing situation.